adequate resources are made available to the Ministry of Health to sustain and deliver the essential services that had been supported through USAID. In addition, allocations have been provided for within the National Health Insurance Fund's allocation formula to support such priority public health activities and strengthen domestic financing for health security. Mr. Speaker, beyond these immediate domestic financing measures, the Ministry's strategy for sustaining funding is anchored on 5 practical interventions. First, the Ministry is ensuring that the prudent utilization of the pandemic fund grants. Ghana secured this grant through the World Bank in 2024 to strengthen surveillance, laboratory systems, and workforce development over the next 3 years. These investments are intended to reduce response costs over time by strengthening preparedness and the speed of detection and containment. Second, the Ministry is integrating public health emergency preparedness and response more deliberately into the national budgeting and developing planning. This will ensure that core emergency preparedness activities are captured within the medium-term plans and annual budgets rather than being treated. The Ministry will continue to invest in preparedness measures, including stockpiling, capacity building, simulation exercises, and enhanced surveillance. Evidence shows that stronger preparedness shortens outbreak duration and reduces overall costs. Fourth, domestic resource mobilization is being strengthened through structured engagement with relevant public and private and other critical inputs. Fifth, the Ministry will deepen collaboration with institutional and research laboratories, including the Noguchi Memorial, KCCR, CSIR, and others to sustain testing capacity for priority diseases and reduce reliance on externally funded laboratory support. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, while donor support has played an important role over the years, government is taking deliberate steps to strengthen domestic financing and ensure continuity of essential public health services. I wish to assure the House that the Ministry remains fully committed to building a resilient and sustainably financed public health emergency preparedness and response system. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And will be found wanting. Thank you.
Yes.
We have to take our own destiny into our hands. We must have a fallback plan. It must be a country-led, project or program, so that with or without foreign input, we'll be able to deal with emergencies in this country. Thank you.
Yes. We got no further questions, please. Thank you.
Very well. Members, let's move to question number 155, also standing.
Ask the Minister for Health to provide the claims amount for the year 2020 to 2023 and the types of claims for the respective years of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, from 2020 to 2023, particularly the relationship between the claims expenditure and claims paid and the value of services claimed in a given year. While claims paid represent what is actually settled in that same year, Where claims paid exceeds claims expenditure, it is typically because arrears from previous years are being cleared. Mr. Speaker, the claims paid over the period were as follows: 1.37 in 2020, 1.1 in 2021, 963 in 2022, and 2.2 in 2023. This shows a decline in payment up to 2022 before a significant rebound in 2023. Mr. Speaker, I have given a table that speaks for itself. And so, for example, Mr. Speaker, we have the year, claims expenditure, claims paid, portion of the payment relating to that year, and portions of payment relating to previous years. So the honourable member may follow it carefully. So, Mr. Speaker, in 2020, whilst the claim expenditure was 1 billion in 2020, Mr. Speaker, about 1.3 billion was paid. But, Mr. Speaker, only 473 million was respect to 2020. The rest were arrears. I hope Mr. Speaker is following. Good. Mr. Speaker, so we'll move to 2021. Mr. Speaker, when you go to 2021, whilst the claims expenditure is about 1.1 billion, claims paid is also 1.1 billion, but Mr. Speaker, claims relating to 2021 that was paid was 469 million. What does it mean? It means we're piling up arrears. Mr. Speaker, in 2022, the claims payment was 1.6 billion, amount 28 million was with respect to 2022. What it means was that we were piling arrears. Mr. Speaker, again, when we came to 2023, it was 1.8, and then 2.2 was paid, and the proportion with respect to 2023 was 1.1, whilst the rest was the arrears. So, Mr. Speaker, over the years, we've been piling up arrears, and this is what we are doing differently. Mr. Speaker, now the narrative is... Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for the analysis. While you attempted to attribute the non-payment or the arrears, you failed to recognize the fact that in 2020, the claims expenditure was 1 billion, and amount paid is 1.3 billion, which recognizes the fact that there were prior year, there were arrears, and claims paid 1.1. So I just want you to, or I want the House to recognize the fact that in 2020, Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The question is, Honourable Minister, 2025 year, can you tell this House that the payment that was made in respect of claims by the National Health Insurance Authority did not include
question
arrests?
Overruled. Yes.
A while ago, you referenced 88(7)(a), and you admonished the member. But, yes, the interpretation of the rules is in your bosom. But where the minister has provided answers, and the member is making a follow-up based on the answers given by the minister.
That indicated he has failed to do ABCD.
Well, Speaker, but...
And you've heard that directly from the member.
Yes, Speaker.
Is that from the answer?
Speaker, in this House, you guide us. But I'm saying, but not...
So I listened carefully to the member, the tangent that he was going before overruling him.
Yes, Speaker, so would you kindly grant him the opportunity to reframe his question then?
But if he has the opportunity to reframe, he would have done that.
Yes,
he asked another something, is talking about a particular year, up to 2023. but his question is on 2020.
Issues of Order 88, Order 88.7a. I employ you, Speaker, with respect, to grant him the opportunity to reframe his follow-up.
Yes?
Yes.
You can, if you want to reframe within the ambit of the question, I have no problem.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Minister, with reference to the table, can you tell this House the best practice in terms of claims payment, whether or not every claim is paid within the month is submitted, or there'll be lapses in terms of months before they are paid?
Members, let's take a look at the question. To ask the Minister for Health to provide the claim amount for the year 2020 to 2023 and the types of claims for the respective years of the National Health Insurance Scheme. This was the question. So the Minister has provided you with the details, and you are asking for monthly. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the guidance. But Minister, in answering the question, brought the element of arrears in his answer. So I just want to know from him, with international practice, is that the case that all claims are paid in the month they are submitted, or not that? So that we know, because you mentioned arrears. So I think that was a valid question.
Well, I do not see the main question talking about the manner of payment. You are to provide the claim that has been paid within the period. Yes, do you have a supplementary question?
Yes, I do.
Please.
If you are so, Mr. Speaker, the Minister in his response in page 43 states, and I quote, "In 2025, claims processing and payment accelerated to the point that payment were made faster than the 3-month window stipulated under the NHIS Act. In the same year, a total of 2,688 million was paid to service providers, in addition to the transfer of 1.5 billion to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund." Mr. Speaker, my question is, what were the total arrears as of 2020, accumulated, or payment claims accumulated in 2025, of which 2 billion was paid? I want to know the claims that were accumulated for that year, of which...
Question overruled.
Mr. Speaker.
The question is between the period 2020 and 2025. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, with respect, the question demanded answers for claim payment between 2020 and 2023. Mr. Speaker, I'm fortified by the rules that requires of me to ask supplementary question based on the answer given by the Minister. Mr. Speaker, I therefore proceed to ask...
There is a proviso...
Which is, Mr. Speaker?
...that people normally forget. If you have the rules book, you can take the entire House to Standing Order 89.
Very well, Mr. Speaker.
Which is on...
Mr. Speaker,
yes,
I'm happy to
there is a proviso.
Mr. Speaker,
there is but.
Mr. Speaker, please, you've given a guide. Let me read it aloud. Mr. Speaker, Standing Order 89. It is supplementary question. Supplementary question. That is the title of that. 8.1, quote, "As soon as a question is answered, any member, beginning with the member who asked the question, may, without notice, ask a supplementary question for further clarification of any matter of fact on the answer, but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Yes.
Right.
So that is why I'm drawing your attention
Mr.
to the
Speaker,
fact
why
that
not? I think
that is a
Mr. Speaker, why not?
proviso.
Mr.
Yes.
Speaker,
Yes.
to the extent that the supplementary question is squarely within the ambit of the answer provided. Mr. Speaker, with respect, I cannot ask a supplementary question outside of the answer. So, Mr. Speaker, if a question is asked for 2020 to 2023, and the minister in his own answer decides to go outside of the 2020-2023 to now give within 89. Mr. Speaker, well, you are setting the rules.
If you read further, I'm not setting the rules.
Mr. Speaker, that is what it means. Mr. Speaker, with respect, please allow.
That's why
Mr.
in
Speaker, you've said
interpretation,
something.
you read the provision as a whole.
Mr. Speaker, you are presiding. Can you put the question? Let me answer you. Mr. Speaker, indeed, you read the provision as a whole. You cannot be disjointed. But, Mr. Speaker, we will also be creating problems if we say that the supplementary question, which would ordinarily depend on what answer the minister has given, there cannot be any supplementary question unless there's an answer. Mr. Speaker, if the minister introduces a matter of fact in his answer, there must be an interrogation there too. Mr. Speaker, a member of parliament cannot be restrained merely because the supplementary question may appear to introduce a new matter. Mr. Speaker, then we cannot have a supplementary question in this chamber.
Well,
by the way, let me ask my supplementary question.
The rule is to guide all of us. You are introducing an issue of interpretation.
Speaker,
so let me hear Majority Leader before you come and ask your supplementary. Yes.
Well,
yeah, Mr. Speaker, I am tempted to side with of the relevant standing order. If a member should ask the Minister for Health, the cause of malaria is XYZ. It is similar to the cause of diabetes from the specific question, but in answering has provided new facts and issues. And so, on that, whatever you stand here and say, once you introduce a new fact, a member becomes entitled to ask you for further clarification regarding the fact that you yourself, you may provide the answer for the main question, but then you leave room to be taken on other matters that you ought not to have spoken about. And so, Mr. Speaker, I do agree that if the minister answered questions and added new facts, yes.
I beg to differ in the sense that the rules are clear and guide questions and supplementary. The member who asks the question may, without notice, ask supplementary question for further clarification of any matter of fact on the answer, but a supplementary question shall not introduce, though the minister is not guided as to how to provide an answer to the question. This but is guiding you to ask the supplementary question within the question. So the meaning that I gathered from the use of but here is admonishing you that but a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question. So the understanding here is that the fact that the minister deviated does not mean you can ask a question on cholera and be asking a supplementary question on diabetes.
Mr. Speaker, you see, it says, as soon as a question is answered, any member beginning with the member who asked the question may, without notice, ask a supplementary question for further clarification of any matter of fact on the answer.
Yes.
Any matter of fact on the answer. But not the question.
No.
Not the question.
But
yes.
But
so, yes, I agree with you.
A supplementary question.
But a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
Not included in original question. Not the answer. Not the answer. Not included in original question.
But the minister can give facts. But you, the question should not introduce. So you don't have that right.
See, not the answer.
But you don't have that right. That's what it says.
But a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question.
But Mr. Speaker,
that's why we need to interpret the provision as a whole.
Yes.
That's why we need to take cognizance of the fact that ministers are not guided on the kind of answer that they should bring, but the rules provide a guide on asking a supplementary question.
Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Except to say that it appears to me that the rule makes provision for two issues to be dealt with.
No.
One, if you provide an answer outside the framework of the question, you open yourself up.
No.
You open yourself up.
The rule is saying.
You open yourself up, but then also, but then also, if
Yes.
I believe that there's no mischief here. Because a supplementary question with the reading of the provision in whole emanates from the answers given. No. A supplementary question will emanate from the answers given to a substantive question. That is why sometimes a member may not ask a supplementary question because he's satisfied with the answers given. So that is the purpose for this provision. Now, the introduction of but a member may not ask a question, not introduce. So let me read it. That is 89.1. But a supplementary question shall not introduce a matter not included in the original question. Serves no purpose at all. It serves no purpose at all because
Well, it is part of the provisions, and we are saying it serves no purpose.
Mr. Speaker, but it serves no purpose because a supplementary question will emanate from it does. But
So,
I'm saying that because when you ask a question, a supplementary question,
Well,
the basis of Mr. Speaker,
probably you may ask that the rules should be amended. But so long as I am concerned,
if you may
once it is part of the rules, I will place interpretation on it. I won't say it serves no purpose.
Mr. Speaker, if you may hear me, if you may let me land.
So you know that you must pass through the text to the purpose.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course. And I'm saying that reading this provision, not just 89.1 alone, but if you read 89.1, 2, and 3, that latter day provision is dangling. It's a dangling modifier. It doesn't qualify. It doesn't provide any relevance. Now, we can only be saying that the supplementary question has no basis in the answer provided. But once the member is able to point to the fact that, oh, as part of the answer provided and advertised, there's a basis for it to ask. Mr. Speaker, then I believe that you may grant him.
But allow him to freely speak his mind. Honorable Habib. Yes, Sule.
Mr. Speaker, for me, I think this house, we learn from each other and we are allowed to speak our mind. What has just happened, if you ask me,
No,
is,
you contribute to the issue of interpretation.
I want to finish with this when I come to the interpretation. Because the deputy the deputy wants to speak and the minority leader is asking him not to speak. That for me is an infringement on his rights. And so he should be allowed to speak.
Please,
let's hear you. It's important to hear you.
Honorable,
Mr. Speaker, my contribution is this. Two very important issues. One,
the right to speak in this house is voluntary.
yes, but
So
you
you
shouldn't
don't
gag him.
compel anybody to.
You are a man on your own. You shouldn't gag you. Mr. Speaker, I think that for me, we are all learning. I've been here for some time now. And so when questions are asked, but I was one of those who was always asking questions and going around the questions to be able to scrutinize and to ask for accountability. And so when questions are asked and we provide information in our quest to answer the questions and we veer off and bring in other matters, it makes it possible for the person who has filed the question to want to ask to elucidate for more information. And so, yes, they are here today, even though we won't be there anytime soon, but it's a possibility. And so I think that if the minister has the information to provide, he should be given the opportunity to provide. I also want to appeal to my brothers on the other side. You are not many, and you have no any other business except to come here. But you are only 10 people. You shouldn't be paid. In our case, some of us are ministers and deputy ministers.
Honorable Sule,
so
you are completely out of order.
Yes, Speaker, I'm grateful.
You are completely out of order. Honourable members, I agree perfectly with you that when ministers are asked questions, honourable members, I agree with you that when ministers are asked questions, they should limit themselves to the answer to the question. But my disagreement is that because the minister erred in going outside the question, the supplementary question must also go outside, is what I have a problem with reading Standing Order 89. Reading Standing Order 89. Yes, your supplementary question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm of the opinion that in this chamber we transact public business and act in the national interest. Any interpretation of our rules that result in absurdity must be avoided, and I so submit that the rules are very clear that when there's a need for clarity, you have to proceed to ask the question.
Differ.
No problem,
And,
Mr. Speaker, you are
I
presiding.
take a great exception that my interpretation resulted into absurdity.
Mr. Speaker, don't
Now,
misquote me. I've not
the
said
rules-
I said if there
the
is.
rules-
Mr. Speaker, please hold
Hear
on a
me
second.
out.
Mr. Speaker, because you said
Observe
something which is wrong.
Standing
I
Order
said
124.
we should avoid,
Will you observe Standing Order 124?
which is.
You see,
Mr. Speaker, don't get me wrong. When you are misquoting me to make a position,
You see-
I said we should avoid. That is my submission. I didn't say we
normally
made an
the
interpretation.
rules are clear
We should
that
avoid.
when the rules are interpreted and you disagree, what you do is also clear within the law.
Mr. Speaker, I didn't get the impression that you have ruled, but let's proceed. Mr. Speaker, I proceed to ask the minister, based on second and third paragraphs of his answer at page 43, quote, Speaker, the current government is committed to restoring payment discipline and improving claims management so that annual expenditure is more consistently matched by payment. Arrears are prevented from building up, and providers can deliver services to NHIS members without disruption. Mr. Speaker, this commitment is already being reflected in improved payment performance. In 2025, claims processing and payment accelerated to the point that payments were made faster than the 3-month window stipulated under the NHIS Act. Mr. Speaker, based on these, I want to ask the Honorable Minister whether this answer suggests that 2025 payment claims have been paid to date.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, as far as I know, all claims that have been submitted to the National Health Insurance Authority without issues have been settled. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the minister goes further to say, in the same year, a total of 2 providers, in addition to the transfer of 1.5 billion to Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Mr. Speaker, the minister off record is saying that that is in error, because that was where I was coming to. So can he, with your leave, correct the error so that I can properly situate my question?
Ask your question.
Mr. Speaker.
Professor.
Very well. Very well. Mr. Speaker, that's fine. Mr. Speaker, the minister claims that there is a 2,688.6 million as total claims paid to service providers. Is that correct? The figure?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the amount stated as read by the Honourable Minority Leader should actually be in B.
Factual error having been. Yes. Can the minister, in the same year, whether the total amount of 2.6 billion plus includes the 2025 financial year that is made reference to, or it is only for the 2025 financial year? 43. I'm taking you back to your answer, 43. In the same year, a total of 2.6 billion was paid to service providers in addition to the transfer of 1.5 billion to Ghana Medical Trust Fund. Now, my first question is the 2.6 billion payment. You say in the same year. There is some ambiguity, so I want clarification. For the entire period up to the end. Final question. Additional you, whether this 1.5 billion Ghana cedis covered the entire allocation for the Ghana Medical Trust Fund for the financial year 2025.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, per 2025 released to them for the 2025 fiscal year. Thank you.
Speaker,
well, let's move to question number 554, standing in the name of Honorable Alexander Kwasi Akwa. Yes. Yes.
Speaker, thank you very much. I have the permission and authority of Honorable Akwesi Akwat.
Please do.
Thank you very much.
It must not stay in the record.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Health the current state of healthcare infrastructure in Ghana and what plans are in place to improve the conditions of health facilities, particularly in undeserved areas. Sorry, underserved areas. Underserved areas. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for Akemoda for the question on the current state of healthcare infrastructure and the plans in place to improve conditions, particularly in underserved areas. Mr. Speaker, government remains committed to improving access to quality healthcare through stronger health infrastructure and reliable essential medical equipment across the country, with particular attention to underserved areas. While investment over the years have expanded the network of facilities, infrastructure gaps and maintenance backlog remain and can affect efficiency, patient safety, and quality of service delivery. To address this in a structured manner, the Ministry has developed the Health Infrastructure Strategic Plan and the Ghana Health Infrastructure Strategy 2025 to 2029 to guide priority expansion, rehabilitation, and upgrading is underway to replace obsolete and non-functional equipment nationwide. Under this program, the dialysis machines initiative has been prioritized and is currently at the tendering stage to expand access to dialysis services and improve the management of renal conditions. Maintenance culture is also being strengthened. Health service agencies, including the Ghana Health Service and teaching hospitals facilities, have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their internally generated funds towards maintenance and the replacement of equipment to reduce avoidable breakdowns and preserve functionality. In addition, urgent gaps in life-saving equipment are being addressed through targeted support to facilities with immediate needs. This includes the provision of equipment to facilities such as Asylum Hospital and the Tamale Teaching Hospitals, among others, as well as the supply of anesthesia machines to various hospitals to stabilize critical services, commitment to improving infrastructure conditions, and ensuring that health facilities are adequately equipped to deliver quality services to the people of Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the Minister, he reiterated issues of maintenance, basically the maintenance culture. As he averted his mind to some facilities, especially in Kolebu and Konfanochi, and what are we doing to ensure that they have the best of maintenance?
Yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Chief, to that effect. The Speaker, what we have realized in this country is that when government buy equipment to these health facilities, within a particular number of years, when these equipment are faulty or obsolete, they still require government to bring money for the maintenance of this equipment or for even the replacement of this equipment. The Speaker, we have found that this approach is not sustainable. And so, one, we are charging all health facilities to the Speaker, we are also inviting the private sector in, what we call hospital equipment placement, and if you like, PPP, where private members are invited to these health facilities, put their equipment there, they maintain the equipment themselves, and they are paid according to usage. Management of this hospital equipment, routine maintenance of the equipment, appropriate hospital equipment, you can do very less when it comes to taking care of patients in our health facilities. Thank you.
No.
Yes.
You do that one. Yes, don't let me go. Mr. Speaker,
It's important. No, but let's finish this. Let's go.
one of the key features, Mr. Speaker, one of the key features of underserved areas is shortage of health professionals. But you were talking about underserved areas, and I'm saying that one of the key characteristics of underserved areas is shortage of health professionals. And we're also very minded about a lot of nurses who are still sitting at home. Mr. Speaker, I want to find out from the minister, with reference to health infrastructure, are you considering moving beyond only the 10 of the Agenda 11 projects that you intended completing within this period, 2026 financial year?
Honorable Jerry Ahmed, the question is the current state of health infrastructure. So if the facility is not constructed, can it be talking about the current state of health infrastructure in terms of that?
Mr. Speaker, I'm at a loss whether or not a project which is a health facility, and we have stages of construction and usage, cannot be termed as a health infrastructure.
Well, it's not if you want to ask a question about Agenda 111, which is 98%, you could ask the question and the minister will prepare to come and answer. You see, one thing that the rule seeks to do is to avoid element of surprise. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the minister that the budgeted 10 million Ghana cedi that the minister responsible for finance budgeted for the completion of the Agenda 11, are they part of the health infrastructure? Are they part of the health infrastructure that you have answered to?
Your question is overruled. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, this one not directly to the question. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Alhaji Yusuf, he made a very statement that, Mr. Speaker, I want you to order for it to be expunged from the record. He said that we were 10 on our side and we were never 10. So that should be expunged. And he also said I was not a man of... So, Mr. Speaker, we were never 10, so we should be expunged. Mr. Speaker, that part should be expunged.
That's what that one the record will show, so don't worry about it.
No, but Mr. Speaker, the record will show what? Mr. Speaker, just count up here. We are more than 10 here, so it cannot be a statement of fact. Mr. Speaker, it cannot. Mr. Speaker, we are more than 10 here, so it cannot be a statement of fact. So it should be expunged. Mr. Speaker, yes. We don't want to.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I think that the record should reflect exactly what happened here. We don't know the number at that time. According to somebody who counted, they were 10. But now I think they are 13. I think now they are 13. But Mr. Speaker, I agree. So it should be withdrawn, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, my good brother, Honorable Habib has raised an issue that has to do with their attendance. And we don't want anybody to raise any quorum. We want government business to continue. And I know that you people are committed in ensuring that government business continues. And so, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw that statement. I withdraw that statement. And in fact, if you want, I'll apologize. And to say that you are more than 10, as we sit now, you are 11. So let's continue.
Yes, Honorable Kinsley Nyaku.
Less than 30. They are less than 30. The Speaker, I would like to find out from the minister if the ministry and the minister will be intentional in providing financial support to actualize the Ghana Health Infrastructure Strategy 2025-2029. Because in your response, you said that they will be activated when you have fiscal space. But I'm asking if you'll be intentional in finding resources to actualize this strategy. Thank you.
Well, you may answer for whatever it's worth.
Mr. Speaker, my response to this question is that His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has made an emphatic statement that he's not going to abandon any ongoing or already abandoned projects. So, Mr. Speaker, we have comprehensive programs to make sure all these projects are completed. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I had wanted to talk to my senior Honorable Akando offline, but since the NDC members are 19, I just want to say it here so that they will hear on TV. On paragraph 3 of your answer, paragraph 3 of your answer, Mr. Speaker, I just want to quote, under this program, the dialysis machine initiative has been prioritized and is currently under the tendering stage to expand access to dialysis service and improve the management of renal conditions, end of quote. Since, Honorable Minister, since you've mentioned the fact that the process at the tendering stage, can you educate this House or give that information to this House, whether or not the procurement method you're using is international, national competitive, or single source? Thank you.
Question overruled.
Mr. Speaker,
yes,
thank
you have the floor. Boama.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, agencies including Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities have been directed to allocate not less than 10% of their internally generated funds towards maintenance. I would like to find out from the minister, since this directive was given, what has been the status of allocating 10% to? What has been the status of the hospitals and the teaching hospitals making that allocation to do maintenance for the hospitals? Thank you.
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this directive is a very new one. It was issued early this year, and
members, let's move to question number 555, standing in the name of Alexander Akwesi Akwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Health what plans the Ministry has to address the issue of poor maintenance culture in healthcare facilities and ensure that they are equipped to provide quality healthcare services. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the Honorable Member for Akim Oda for the question on the Minister's plans to address poor maintenance culture in health facilities and ensure that facilities are adequately equipped to deliver quality healthcare services. The Ministry of Health recognizes that sustainable healthcare infrastructure and reliable medical equipment depend on strong maintenance culture, effective asset management, and timely replacement of obsolete equipment. In response to observed weaknesses in routine and planned preventive maintenance in some facilities, deliberate steps are being implemented. These include strengthening maintenance governance through sector-wide maintenance policies and standards, supported by an equipment policy that provides clear guidelines for servicing, upkeep, and replacement. An asset management and maintenance system is also being implemented to improve planning, tracking, and accountability, and to shift facilities from an ad hoc repairs to planned preventive maintenance. Capacity is being strengthened through sensitization and targeted training of facility managers on planned preventive and routine maintenance. In addition, all health service agencies, including the Ghana Health Service and teaching hospital facilities, have been instructed to allocate a fixed percentage of their internally generated funds towards maintenance to ensure predictable financing and reduce avoidable breakdowns. Mr. Speaker, maintenance has also been strengthened through regulation and oversight. In particular, maintenance is now a key metric in assessment conducted by the Health Facility Regulatory Agency, so that routine inspections and licensing processes take account of infrastructure condition, equipment functionality, and adherence to maintenance plans. Mr. Speaker, these measures are intended to institutionalize regular maintenance and keep facilities safe, functional, and properly equipped for quality service delivery. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member, any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, I have one supplementary question. Does the ministry have any plan in outsourcing some of this maintenance jobs to other private people who could readily be available to maintain our equipment?
Yes. Can they be available, leader?
Mr. Speaker, the majority side must know that their front bench must not be empty at all times. There's nobody there, it's empty.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the observation from the honorable member is accurate and it's in our contemplation.
Honourable members, let's move to question number 251. You need to get up early because I look around, there was nobody thereafter. Yes.
10% of the next question to his of their IGF. I want to find out from the minister, what is the actual percentage?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, not less than 10%.
Question number 251. Standing in the name of Honorable Mavis Kukwa Bisi. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Health the status of the Western Regional Hospital project at Apmenim, which was awarded to Amandi Construction under the MPP government, and the measures being taken to ensure its timely completion. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for Hunter West for the question on the status of the Western Regional Hospital project at Apmenim and the measures being taken to commence works and ensure timely completion. Mr. Speaker, the project was affected by the domestic debt exchange program in 2022. which disrupted financing for externally funded infrastructure projects. Consequently, work stalled in 2023, and both the Apimenim project and the Fianquanta redevelopment remain suspended, pending debt restructuring and the renewal of financial agreement with the relevant export credit agencies. Mr. Speaker, government is actively working to conclude the restructuring and renew the financial framework, after which the Apimenim Hospital project will be placed back on track for completion to ease pressure on existing facilities in the Western region. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
No supplementary, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All members, let's move to question number 265, standing in the name of Honorable Emmanuel Tobin.
Mr. Speaker, I have the permission and authority from Honorable Emmanuel Tobin to ask the question on his behalf.
Yes, do.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To ask the Minister for Health the status of the Agenda 111 District Hospital in the Anya Soutuum constituency in the Ga Central Municipality. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful to the honorable member for Anyaso Chion for the question on the current status of Agenda 111 District Hospitals project in the Anyaso Chion constituency within the Ga Central Municipality. Mr. Speaker, with respect to the completion arrangements, the Ministry of Finance, by correspondence dated 13th February 2025, formally notified the Ministry of Health to incorporate the Agenda 111 project into its budget proposal for 2025 and beyond. And the ministry has accordingly captured the Agenda 111 program in its 2025 budget. Further to this, following handover directive from the presidency, the ministry has taken charge of the Agenda 111 project. Following the handover, the ministry engaged the management from AESL to undertake a special audit assignment, and the report has been submitted. In due course, the ministry will finalize the strategic implementation plan for Agenda 111 and engage the Ministry of Finance for the necessary guidance and support towards dedicated may be interested in assisting to complete these important projects. Mr. Speaker, the ministry remains committed to working closely with all stakeholders to ensure the timely and successful delivery of district hospitals for the people of Anya Soutium and the wider Ga Central Municipality. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rest my case.
Honourable members, question time is ended. On your behalf, I sincerely thank the Minister responsible for health for attending upon the House to respond to scheduled questions. Once again, thank you for coming. You are accordingly discharged. By the agreement of the House, we are moving to statements. The first statement is by the Young Parliamentarians Forum. You have the floor. Member of Parliament for Nsauma Dwajiri, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I rise to speak on a call for legislation on ECOSET in Ghana. Speaker, I rise today with a profound sense of urgency and responsibility to speak on a matter that transcends partisan politics, economic growth, and short-term development agenda. I speak to the need for legislative action against ecocide, the mass destruction of ecosystems, and for Ghana to align itself with the growing global movement to make environmental devastation a punishable crime, both domestically and internationally. Mr. Speaker, ecocide is defined by an independent expert panel convened by Stop Ecocide International, and I quote, "Unlawful or wanton acts of committed with knowledge that there is a substantial likelihood of severe and either widespread or long-term damage to the environment," and I'm quote. This is not abstract rhetoric. It is a legal concept with measurable criteria. Damage that is severe, widespread, or long-term. It goes far beyond regulatory fines or administrative sanctions. It is about criminal accountability for decisions and actions that destroy the very foundation of life and livelihood. Speaker, the current legal framework in international law, notably the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court, lists genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, and aggression. Ecocide is not yet recognized as a standalone international crime during peacetime, even though environmental destruction today causes consequences on par with the gravest human rights abuses. Speaker, this absence in international law creates a legal vacuum. Corporations, state actors, and individuals can commit ecological destruction, deforestation, industrial pollution, oil spills, and climate amplifying activities with limited criminal liability. This is not just a theoretical concern. The Nigerian Niger Delta, for example, has suffered over 7,000 oil spills from 1970 to 2000. Devastating water, soil, and human health, and with full environmental restoration estimated to take decades. Such destruction is paradigmatic of ecocide. Globally, however, momentum is building to fill this void. At least 11 countries have already incorporated ecocide into their domestic law, including Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine, Moldova, Georgia, Ecuador, Chile, France, and Belgium. Speaker, in 2023, Belgium became the first European Union country to criminalize ecocide as part of its penal code revisions, demonstrating a political will to hold those who cause severe ecological harm to account. Across the world, Brazil, Mexico, the Netherlands, Italy, Argentina, France, Polynesia, India, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Peru, who are advancing legislative proposals aimed at similar goals. This is not merely environmental law. It is justice law, recognizing ecocide as a crime, embeds a moral framework into legal systems. As noted by legal scholars and advocates, criminalization signals a societal consensus, and destroying ecosystems is morally and legally unacceptable, similar to how criminal law treats thefts or harm to persons. In Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo publicly endorsed ecocide as an international crime at the 2024 UN Biodiversity Conference, joining the calls from criminal law. Speaker, why should Ghana act now? Ecological boundary crossing. As a country affected by deforestation, illegal mining, galamsey, and water pollution, Ghana's ecosystem are under severe stress due to illegal mining, a form of and future prosperity. To speak of moral responsibility, environmental stability is foundational to food security, human health, and sustained economic development. The consequences of ecological damage are anti-generational. They affect our children, their livelihoods, and their right to healthy environment. Criminalizing ECOSED affirms our collective duty of care towards our nature and future generations. By legislating ECOSED as a crime, Ghana can position itself as a leader in environmental justice in Africa, much like the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Belgium on their respective continent, showing that environmental protection is inseparable from human rights, climate justice, and sustainable development. So in conclusion, we must pass a domestic ECOSED law, introduce a standalone legal provision defining and criminalizing ECOSED with clear thresholds for severity, duration, and impact, model on the Stop ECOSED international definition, align with international law, advocates at the Assembly of States, parties of the